Families of children with special needs in Connecticut are breathing a sigh of relief, at least for now. A FOX61 investigation led Anthem Insurance to change course on a decision that would dramatically impact their kids' access to really vital therapy. Lawmakers now calling Matt Caron's reporting excellent and are crediting it for making the change here. Matt is here in studio this morning with Tia D'Onofrio, a mom whose daughter was at the heart of this story. Thank you to both of you for joining us on the couch.
Thanks, Keith.
Matt, your work here, incredible. Insurance can be complicated. Walk folks at home through what the problem was and what's been reversed.
Well, the problem essentially was that Anthem was about to slash rates for providers. So when a provider performs a service for a child with special needs, they bill the member and they get reimbursed a certain percentage. But Anthem was about to slash that percentage by anywhere from 30 to 65%, depending on how many services were billed. And a lot of providers, especially smaller ones who don't have the big negotiating leverage like larger ones do that are hooked on with these big hospital conglomerates, they couldn't afford to take that rate cut. And so they had to make a tough decision, which meant closing their practice in a lot of ways or deciding to be out of network with Anthem. And if they were out of network, then people who have Anthem insurance, which is like 60% of the state, would have ultimately had to pay out of pocket a little bit more. So.
And Tia, that's where you come into this conversation. I have known you and your husband, Jeff, for years. You folks move mountains, not only for your young daughter, but families across Connecticut. Speak to your daughter, Sinevi, and the therapies that she is so reliant on.
Sinevi, she needs a lot of different therapies. The two that were mainly affected by this, it was speech and feeding. Her speech therapy, it's enabled her to, she can use her voice, she can communicate with her hands, make choices. If you give her choices with your hands, she can use a Toby and eye gaze now. I mean, and communication is huge. It's huge. I mean, she was this frustrated little girl who couldn't get any words out, and now she can communicate. And with feeding, she can swallow some now. We're working on chewing. You know, her goal is to eat a cheeseburger with her daddy one day.
Wow, it just gives you chills. Take us into your heart to see this reversal, at least for now, through Matt's work. What does that mean for your family and so many others?
Oh, it's such a relief. Her speech services were going to be cut. She was going to lose her feeding therapist. We had a choice of no feeding therapy or driving to Rhode Island, somehow rearranging our lives and making it to Rhode Island. And now she gets to keep her services, and it's huge. And so many families are in the same situation where they don't have to rearrange their lives. They don't have to pay more money. They don't. I mean, the community came together, and Matt was amazing, and you know, Anthem reversed their decision. And
to see Matt work is truly remarkable. You would never say this, but you approach your stories through the eyes of a dad, right?
Yeah.
And you went right to the top here. Talk about what lawmakers have told you and who we're hearing from now.
I appreciate the praise, but you know the old saying, it takes a village to raise a child? It really does. And so it's not just me. First of all, I need to thank Keith, because Keith was the one who hooked me on with families like Tia, and so the story wouldn't have happened without that connection. But I also need to say, it speaks to the power of journalism, it speaks to the power of our platform, but it also speaks to the power of advocacy, the power of people, and ultimately the power of parents, right? Because yes, I'm a journalist, but at the end of the day, I go home and I'm a dad. And this would have affected my son. And you know, Tia and I can both tell you, as parents of kids with special needs, we advocate for them every single day. We are their voice, and it's a constant battle. And I also just have to say that I did what any person should do in a situation where they need help with advocacy. I reached out to my state legislators. So I have to give a huge thank you to State Senator Matt Lesser, State Representative Amy Morin-Bello, Lieutenant Governor Susan Bysowitz, who called me like for the past 4 days, every day, just checking in. Hey, I emailed this person, I talked to that person. Is your issue being handled? So all of those collective voices together, I think, put pressure on Anthem to do the right thing.
And just very quickly, there are still questions. This is not a guarantee at this point.
No, Anthem originally said, well, no providers terminated their contract with us. I know that not to be true. I know 3 separate providers who have. So I reached out to them. They're supposed to be getting back to me. There's also a whole separate issue regarding autism services and copays. We're going to be investigating that further.
Matt, incredible work. And to you and your family who have been on the forefront of advocating not only for your daughter, but so many children, we will stay on top of this, and we're grateful for the work you're doing.
And take a look at that story, because her daughter, Sinevi, is
rock star.
awesome.
She's beautiful, a beautiful little girl. Tim Lammers, this is the power of our media and parents who are brave to share their stories. It is remarkable and something we'll continue to cover for sure.
Matt said it all. It's the power of the platform, and with that comes great responsibility. Got to use it widely. Matt, you did. Good job. Keith, thank you.